skills, negotiating skills, cash flows, working capital management, and these are the areas that the bank is involving itself in. We have recently conducted a market survey, and we have found out that today Women's Bank, in its 19 years, has dispersed over 10.2 billion to women entrepreneurs, which is the best outreach, ladies and gentlemen. And today the market survey tells us that there is a credit demand of 281 billion just for Pakistani women in 5 major cities of Pakistan. So you can well imagine the amount of credit demand that there is. I would like to now take you back to the year 2001, when I took over as the president of First Women Bank Ltd. Earlier, prior to that, I was the general manager of Punjab, managing 23 branches out of 38. And I remember when I took over, a lot of people said that I was committing professional harakari. The losses were so colossal, and to take over a bank that had losses, that had tax bills pending in the law courts of double the impact, a meager capital base, and just to give you an idea what we were up against, the losses were 3 times the paid-up capital of the bank. And to top it all, Basel II requirements, we hadn't been meeting them since the year 1998, because the board of directors, I am owned by the most powerful 5 banks in the country. So the greatest issue that I too, when I say I too, I'm the bank. I too suffer like you, is access to finance. So since 1998, we're suffering because we don't have the required minimum capital requirements. These were the issues that I confronted, amongst other things. If the balance sheet was a disaster, the human resource and infrastructure situation was nightmarish. We lacked systems, procedures, manuals. Our staff lacked training, and the organizational structure of the company was completely obsolete. Neither did we have a functional asset and liability management committee. Making matters worse was the fact that the lack of IT and management information systems meant that you had 6 women executives struggling to manually run the entire network of 38 branches countrywide. Adding to our miseries was a recurring threat of a possible privatization, which we'd also fought in the year 1998. In the year 1998, when the bank suffered losses, a brave group of women went to court to fight for the bank. They fought and they got a judgment. And the judgment was that yes, because pressures of international financial institutions, the bank can be privatized, but the charter of the bank cannot be changed, a charter for the women of the country. At that time, we just didn't have much hope of ever making enough to wipe out the losses. Most of our money was parked in governmental bonds and with other banks, which meant it was safe and low yielding. To make money, we needed credit products and to market them efficiently and aggressively. Our market research showed there was a tremendous demand for credit, but the lack of access to finance was the single biggest impediment confronted by women entrepreneurs. 98% of our respondents said they had financial problems when they were initiating the business. So the market too does exist. But to tap into this market, we needed institutional structures. And this brought us to the same problem. We just didn't have enough money to invest in the bank. Ironically, anyone who looks at the bank today will not be able to recognize this and so will never appreciate the blood, toil, tears, and sweat that went into bringing out the bank out of that very lost situation. Every day of the 7 years have been a challenge, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm proud to say that by the year 2003, I was given a period of 18 months by the finance minister to prove that the institution was viable, and right on the dotted time, the entire loss of over 500 million was wiped out. To give you a comparison of 1989 to 2000, the bank made 20 million profit. As compared to the last 7 years, the bank from 2001 to 2007 has achieved a phenomenal profitability of 1.5 billion. And results have no gender. That is what we need to remember. And at that particular time, I remember I was asked to develop a business plan. And there was only one solution to my problems: strategic planning, which is vitally important to any company, no matter the size, the industry, or the gender. Strategic planning is, by its very nature, ladies, a tricky thing. Making the leap from theory to the operational reality of implementing and managing a plan in real time is a challenge many fail to implement, and still fewer realize the benefits. But the strategic planning worked for us. Wiping out these losses took us a period of exactly 18 months of back-breaking, belt-tightening, and creative banking. And then our strategies started paying off. Today we are lending more. We're lending more than 300%. And obviously our profits shot up accordingly. At a time when we made approximately 1.1 million rupees per month, today the bank makes over 20 million a month. The consolidated net profit has increased by a staggering 72 times. When I calculated in terms of percentage, it turned out, I decided not to talk about it, but I guess it was over 4,000%. I thought nobody would believe me, so I decided not to talk about it. But finding such a, we're all the same, one of a kind. And the biggest thing that we suffer from is people don't believe us. And that's what women are all about. And that is what a woman's mind is all about. Giving respect to a woman's mind. Tell her she can do it. And that's the first step. And I hope together with seeing this beautiful gathering, we will take this Women Business Conference a step further. I hope there's another dream that I will share with you. I am a dreamer, and therefore I suffer as well. But the choices I make are mine alone, and I'm very proud of them. I'm happy to see Megan here. One of the reasons that I came here, I read in a book, which is The Witch of Portobello. If you read the 6th page, it talks about Athena being finally brutally murdered, as if she was going on the streets of London asking for it. And then the writer goes on to say that it's not just the brutal murder of the body, ladies. It is when you don't believe in people, and that is when the silence takes place. The biggest tragedy is when you see your dreams, your aspirations, the moment that you find that you are a solitary figure, battling with them all by yourself. I went through a 2-year period when I found out I'd wiped out the losses, the bank was doing well, the equity was not coming in. And I wondered where I went wrong. Do they believe in empowerment of women? Because empowerment costs money. How much